Where's Shamik? Let's go. You ready? Hey, what's up? What's up, everyone? It's your girl Lala. Welcome to Let's Pack That After Dark. Y'all ready? I hope y'all ready to have a great conversation. Let me bring on my co-host.
Hi, everybody.
Peace. What's up?
Let them know who y'all be.
It's your girl Tamika. You already know who it is. On your favorite Taurus reader.
Oh, but
Okay.
I'm Shamik the God defending all this female hate. I know there's gonna be some male bashing, but I got y'all.
Oh God,
Uh,
here we go. Here we go.
so so
Yeah.
let's just be clear. There's no male bashing here. This is straight conversations, real talk, and real honest opinion with no judgments.
Amen.
Okay? All
Amen.
right. You may not like everything that's said, but we can agree to disagree.
Mm-hmm.
It takes place on this show. Okay? Because we all are grown ups and grown adults, and we got some things to talk about.
Right. That's the
Facts.
whole
So that
fact.
being said, I'm just gonna let some people get in here.
Shout out to everybody on Instagram, Facebook,
YouTube.
YouTube for joining and tapping in. We appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all put this in your calendar. Make sure you guys subscribe to YouTube to Let's Unpack That 27. You subscribe. Make sure you put the alert, the bling bling. So like that, y'all know when we go live, you guys get the alert and you guys can join into the conversation. You know what I'm saying?
So let's get started. So sometimes in life, you have to make sacrifices and decisions in any relationship or situation. We often ask others, but in reality, we have to ask ourselves some real important questions. So, with that being said, many of you may not know how to answer any of these questions that we're about to display, but let's just unpack that. Let's have a conversation.
Have a conversation, y'all.
Now, this first question is real, right? Um, do you want? Do you know what?
Well,
That's a typo.
typo.
Do you know what it is that you need when you're dealing with people and situations? And if you do, what does that look like?
So
Yeah, that's
Who
When to grow on, you gotta think about it, right?
who going? Who going?
So, do you know what you need from others when it comes to relationships or situations? So, I'm going to say I can't speak as a single person because I'm married, but what I can say is when it came to me getting involved with my husband back in the days, because we make 17 years, at that time, I could say I thought I knew what I wanted, but now as we've grown and as the years have come, I think I'm learning more of who I am and what I want more now. So I think we don't always know what we want all the time. We grow into it, if that makes sense. Can't hear you, boo.
That's interesting. Yeah, she on mute.
Oh, sorry. It definitely makes sense, right? But I think that sometimes when you're asking yourself what it is that what I need, right? What do I need, right? And sometimes you're right, you don't know what you need, right? But when you don't know what you need, how do you have an expectation of somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's important to take time, take time for yourself and understand what it is that you need, because a lot of times there's a lot of assumptions. You think people know and they don't know, but in actuality, sometimes we don't know what we need either, right? You hear people say, "Oh, he didn't give me what I need," or "She didn't give me what I need." Why? But maybe that other person don't know what you need because you never shared with them what it is that you need.
Right.
Come on, Shy, what you working with?
I think I definitely know what I need in every situation, and it's dictated by what I'm looking for at that particular point. So in a dating phase, there's certain things that I would need that I wouldn't need in a relationship because I have more needs in a relationship because it's the person that I'm dealing with. You
Oh,
have
here we
to know
go.
what.
Here we go.
Here we go with what? What happened?
You
With the
said
whole
you
dating.
said what you need in dating is different than what you need in relationship. Give us an example.
So if I'm dating you, what I need to get to know you. I need some some basic core things from you for me to remain interested in dealing with you, as opposed to if I'm with you, I need a lot more. I need a shoulder to cry on, I need somebody to talk to, I need more stuff. My expectation is dictated on where our relationship is at that time. But going into it, I know kind of the basic things that I need for somebody. I might just be dealing with somebody and not need much from them because I'm not trying to do too much with them. So my
So
needs
would
are
that be a
limited.
situation instead of a relationship?
Yes.
Mm. So let's unpack that for a second. So when you're dating someone, right, you said you need to get to know them, you need to know certain things, right? So what's the difference between what you need when you date? And I know you said it briefly, but what you need when you're dealing with somebody, because if you're dating, you're getting to know a person, right? So
Right.
I'm inclined to say, what are your needs when you're dating somebody? You got four. Give me four.
Definitely communication,
Mm-hmm.
um, availability, empathy, and compromise
Okay.
with a little splash of understanding.
With a splash of
A
understanding.
little splash.
Okay,
'Cause
so
that's
then
fifth. You
so
only
when you
said four,
so
so
so when the person that you're dating gives you all four, what do you tell them that you need? Now, is that something that you have when you have a conversation with somebody? Is that something you tell them from the forefront?
no. I like people to if when you sometimes when you tell people something, they'll tell you what you want to hear to get what they want. So when I meet somebody, I let them tell on themselves. Like some things you just got to figure out. So there's definitely some communication on what everybody's gonna be like, well, what are you looking for? You just trying to date me? You trying to be with me? Everybody has these conversations initially, and then it kind of goes from there. But sometimes when you over communicate, people will feed your communication with the answers they know you want to hear based on your questions, and now you're getting a representative instead of who they really are.
Yeah,
Sometimes
but
if
I
you
think.
sit back
Go ahead. Sorry.
no, I was just gonna say sometimes when you sit back and listen, you learn more from a person than just asking them questions and getting the answers to those questions.
Okay, but the reality is you gotta tell them something, right? Because the four things that you're saying that you need, I'm not really sure if I can envision someone just being someone other than themselves, right? Compromise, understanding, what else you said? Compromise, understanding, availability, right?
Availability and empathy.
Empathy, right? So those are behaviors that comes with a person, right? So if you're dating someone, you tell them these are the things I need. I mean, I can see if somebody being a fraud when it comes to yo, how much money you got? You got money, you got savings, right? Oh, you know how to cook, and then they really can't cook. I think those are different when it comes to like needs and not communicating certain things because you want to see if a person can cook, right? You don't really have to ask them that. They're going to show you if they can cook. But I do think that it's important to be clear on what your needs are so that you can decipher early whether or not you're going to move forward in your next stage, right?
So let's unpack that then. I know one question I don't want you to ask,
That's
but
a
what
lot
are
of
some
words.
questions you would ask based on your needs? Don't ask that one question. We know what that is, the three of us. Not that
Why?
question, but the
Wait,
rest
why
of them.
can't I ask that question? I'm gonna ask that question. If I was dating, I'm gonna ask that question hands down. You're not gonna make me change, but that's not a need.
So what would be a need?
That's a question I'm asking before we even date. That's your prereq.
That's crazy. That's a first phone conversation question. That's crazy.
But why not?
That's just crazy.
What? See, the audience don't know the question that he's referring to. So let me just unpack that for you guys, just real quick, right? And we kind of a little off topic, but Shamika's saying to me, I have my own list of questions when I was in the dating world, right? There's a list of questions that I ask, and one of the questions I ask is, right? Have you ever been with a man, and do you have any desires to be with a man?
Crazy. That's
and
crazy.
and my co-host thinks that I'm wrong for that, right? And I believe that it's a lot of down low brothers. No disrespect, I'm not against the community, but there's a lot of brothers that's on the down low and don't particularly share what their likes are, right? And then you find out later on that there's some suspect going on there. So I'm gonna ask, and of course, most men, from what I'm understanding, and Miss, Shamik the guard gonna tell you, are offended by that question, right? They think it's disrespectful. Now the comment line is open. If you guys think it's disrespectful, tell me. I want to know why, right? Because a man can ask a woman if she's bisexual, but that's perceived to be normal, right? But that's again off topic. So if you're talking about my needs, right? I happen to agree with all four that you indicated. I might add a fifth. Financial support, protector, provider, things like that. But that's me, right? That's what those are my needs. Mika, what would you think are your needs if you was on the dating scene? What would you say your top four needs would be?
Consideration will be one.
Okay.
Um, Support. Um, I think because I don't really need a lot, but I would say consideration, support,
Tacos.
stable. I need
Tacos.
you to be mentally and emotionally stable. And also, like, I think with me is more consideration. I think, especially because of who I am, what it is that I do for a living, I have to have somebody that understands what it is that I do and has consideration that there might be times that I'm not available. You understand what I'm saying? Because I have duties and I have a job to do. So I really do think consideration is like top of the list when it comes to that.
Okay,
Yeah, see,
that's
that
fair.
ties into my empathy. Like, being a single
Mhm.
father like this, you know what I'm saying? You have to understand. A lot of men date women with kids, and more often than not, if men have kids, they're not with them. So that empathy thing and consideration is huge, especially initially.
Yeah. So we have a comment on Instagram from M Philip 918. They said, I think after a couple of dates, the needs slash requirements of the relationship changes.
Okay. What's a couple? Two?
Yeah.
Well, couple does me too. So
Yeah.
What does that mean? I mean, I think
he said needs need to be communicated.
right. I
Fact.
agree. I
I agree
I,
totally
with
agree
re-
that.
with that.
I agree definitely.
And the reason why I totally agree with it, like I said, if you're not able to communicate what your needs are, and perhaps you just don't know, it's gonna be difficult for you to be in any situation or relationship and be happy about it or get what you need out of it because nobody knows what you need at that moment, right? We could assume that a person may think they know what you need, but everybody is different, right? Every relationship and every situation is always different. It may sound similar, right? But it's always different. All right, next question.
All right. So now we were speaking of what is it that you need when it comes to relationships and situations. Now the next one is
Do you know what you want? Is there a difference?
is there a difference?
Is there a difference?
I think people always think they know what they want till they get it, and then it
Give us an
changes. I mean, I just think sometimes, you have people that want to think they want to be in a relationship, and then when they have some semblance of a loss of a little freedom, they realize that ain't really what they want. Or, when the
Okay.
commitment level changes and things change, you think you want that. Everybody wants to be married with 2.5 kids, a dog, and a picket fence, but sometimes, what I'm saying, it's not what you think it is.
Okay. Okay. Mika. Wait, let me
Um,
go. I gotta go back to Shaw. Shall make the guard. You know what I'm saying? I need to
Yeah.
know. What's the four things that you want from a woman in your relationship when you find that person?
4 is tough. Um,
Okay, give me two.
No, because I'm just trying to think. I mean, I'm a communicator, so I want honesty and communication, and it kind of ties together. I want to be able to communicate. You know what I'm saying? That's probably the most important thing, because through that we can get through all kind of stuff. So that communication thing is huge, and
Okay. So
and
that's the first part. Is that like the end or be all? Like that's a must, necessary. Like you have to be able to communicate.
that's wanted and needed.
I think
Right.
number one is respect, but a lot of things fall under that umbrella. But respect is definitely one.
Okay.
Why are you taking my answer, yo? I'm not telling
I've been working on my voodoo. I can read your mind.
you. Yo, I fucking
So you
can't.
get that was your
Yo.
two? You gave two?
Yeah, like respect. There's a lot of things that fall under respect, but definitely respect, definitely communication, and definitely loyalty. You should be able to, when I'm not with you, I shouldn't feel no kind of way. You should represent me well, because that's what I'm gonna do when I'm out in the streets or you're not around. I think you should represent your person at all times. So
Are
before
there
you do
limits to
something,
loyalty?
what do you mean limits? Like,
Are there limits? Like, some people have limits to how loyal they're gonna be, like ride or die.
I think there's limits to loyalty in some regards. Sometimes you get caught in the middle of two people that mean a lot to you. So that can get tricky. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that's loyal to everybody, really, in essence, is disloyal. Because there's always going to be a point in your loyalty where you got to pick a side. So if you're the person that wants to be loyal to everybody across the board, in my eyes, you disloyal. You're going to end up being disloyal to somebody by doing that. That's that on the fence stuff, and it don't
Mm.
always work like that.
Okay.
So
Me.
I think those three that Shamik described will fall into both what you want and what you need, right? When for me, with what it is that I want, I already said what it was that I needed. What I want is not really something that's like of importance. I feel what it is that you need is what's important, because like Shah said, you think you know what you want until you get it, and then you don't want that shit no more.
That's a
So
Right.
good
I
point.
feel what it is that I want is, yeah, I want the consideration and I want the empathy. I want the respect. I need the consideration. I need the respect. I need the loyalty, but I want a nigga that look good, that smells good.
So if he got everything else and his looks is a little off and he don't smell good, then what?
No, I mean, you gotta smell good. You gotta smell good. That's what I'm saying. If you don't smell good, you're not smelling right. Go that way. Apollo stick.
So what happens? So
I want a man who's intelligent. You know what I'm saying? I want a man who has his shit together. I want a man who's stable, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I want a spiritual man. So I do feel like that falls into, excuse me, the things that I want.
so the funny thing about that is, right, some of the things you said, right, can be when you tell a person that they could definitely put on a fraud to give you those some of those things, like Shamik was saying
Mhm.
earlier. We why it's important to say what you want, but there are some things that you gotta kind of see if that person is about that, because women, we most women are great communicate. No, I'll take that back. Most women can communicate, right? Don't even do that. Most
He's
people
about
can
to get him
communicate,
started.
right? However, some of us communicate so much that we will give a person the script to our life and the
Mm-hmm.
script to understand or try to figure out how to deal with us or even manipulate us for a lack of better words. But that's something that definitely occurs, right? And I guess it may occur when we're more younger than older, but trust and believe, you meet some when we talk, right? We meet somebody and we might have somebody and we're gonna tell that dude everything. Oh, he ain't doing this and he ain't doing that and he get on my nerves. And that dude, if he's interested in you, he gonna word
Mm-hmm.
check. Oh, okay. And then that
Mm-hmm.
person will start doing the things that you were complaining about just to get you, like, bait you. But that's my opinion. What you think about that, Sha?
I mean, life is about manipulation, but the word manipulation in and of itself sounds like a bad thing, but it's a reality. I mean, we use manipulation every day in our lives. We manipulate all kind of situations to win, and people want to win. Everybody wants this thing of like, oh, this person's honest and stuff like that's just not reality. So manipulation is real. Sometimes you want to manipulate to get that thing that you want bad enough. So you'll use manipulation.
I mean, I can definitely see that, but also, I mean, yeah, I guess to win. But I also
So
think that
would you call that? You see how you said some people will sit and manipulate their way into getting what it is that they want. Wouldn't that be voodoo?
Oh my God! Don't start this voodoo stuff. I'm a,
yo,
yo, I'm a pan down. We
I
wait. When I signed my contract, it specifically said no voodoo talk. Don't like come on. Nah, but real talk. A lot
I'm
of
just
a
joking.
lot
I'm
of things a
joking.
lot of things can be called manipulation just on a person.
Mhm.
So let's say I want to get with one of y'all, right? And you're telling me things, and I'm a pleaser, and I'm trying to do those things to get to you. You could call that manipulation, and I could say I'm doing my best to give you what you need. So manipulation is a very tricky word, and it's only
Mhm.
used when it goes left. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that manipulation is very touchy because it's not really manipulation. If I see something I want, I'm gonna do what I need to get it. So if I'm paying attention to what you're telling me and I'm doing those things you say you want and need, is that manipulation or is that me adhering to the things you need and want to make me more attractive to you so we can get together? Like
Mm.
it could go both ways. And that's why I
okay.
say life is nothing about but manipulation. You know what I'm saying? Because manipulation is real, but it's not always a bad thing. A lot of go-getters use manipulation to get what they want.
Okay. So do
Mhm.
you agree that people should know what they want and should be able to articulate what it is they want when they meet somebody, or even in a situation like looking
I
for a job? When you go on a job interview, they ask you, what is it that you want to gain from working at this company, right? That's still another way of having to know. That's the situation, right? Understanding what it is that you want from that particular situation, right? Sometimes we go on a job interview because we want money. The description sounds good and the money sounds good as well. For the moment, what's going on in your life at that moment that you need that employment, right? So when they ask you, why are you a candidate or why are you here, can you say, because I need a job? I want this job because I need money, right?
You know,
That's
you know
not.
what, and
So,
that's a good analogy too, because I use that analogy a lot. But what the part of that analogy that people forget too is that person that's interviewing you, they ask for your resume and they read it thoroughly, and they see what college you went to, they see what jobs you went to, they see how you acted on those jobs, and that's
mhm.
paying attention in a dating analogy to people's actions. So you have to be able to stand on what you're doing. You got to pay attention to people closely. I think people rush situations because things always look good initially, and they rush into a situation, and then when they find out and get to the nuts and bolts of it, it's not what it was, and you know what I'm saying. It just gets crazy. Sometimes we got to stop moving so fast in some of these relationships.
So what I'm hearing you say is you need to stand on business.
Definitely,
Okay.
definitely,
Okay.
definitely.
So
And
what happened?
there's nothing wrong with letting a person prove themselves too, because like I said, people will tell you anything.
That's true. So what happens when you get in a situation and then you realize that that's not what you want, but you thought that's what you want?
I mean, you at a
What
crossroads. You
does
got
that
to.
conversation look like? Is it a conversation? Because I think that in every situation, in relationship situations, and you get in a situation and you think that that's what you want at the moment. Because I believe that sometimes we get into situations that we think we want for the moment because we really don't know what we want. right? And then when you get in a situation, a relationship that you don't want, or this is not what I want, then you have to kind of backtrack. And I think that sometimes it's accountability for yourself to understand that I may have made this decision because this is what I thought I wanted, but now I don't want it. And how do I move forward? What's the next step? Right?
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
the that and then that leads back into the manipulation piece because that is definitely part of manipulation, right?
yeah, and it depends on why I don't want it. Do I not want it because I realize that's not what I want, or do I not want it with you? Those are two different conversations.
Okay,
You
that's
know what I'm
fair.
saying? Saying there's two different conversations. So if I don't want it with you, it's going to be a short conversation. If it's something that I don't want because I realize I'm not prepared for it, and this is something I got in too deep, then that's an extended conversation where I'm like, do my best to communicate that to you. And it depends on what I want after that conversation. If I'm no longer interested in you, that conversation is going to be one sentence. Like there's
What?
nothing really to
What's the
talk about.
sentence? What's the
It,
sentence?
it's over, and there's no need to move forward.
Just it's over.
Sometimes
That's it.
sometimes there's
It's
nothing
over.
to talk about. Sometimes when it's over, there's nothing to talk about. Silence is a form of communication too.
Okay.
People need to exercise that right more. Like some things is, sometimes there's nothing to talk about.
Okay.
All right, so I
So,
want to read some comments from Facebook. Can you guys hear me?
yep.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Derek Watson. He said, financial, not financial, we just dating. Okay, I guess that was for another. Oh, okay. Anthony Cook said, I guess his needs is loyalty, excellent character, compassion, and independent.
Okay.
We have Natalie Maurice, passion, security, friendship, and respect.
Mm-hmm.
We have Anthony Cook, gotta be flexible, humble, confident, and mature.
I
Then
like that.
somebody, Anthony Cook asks, uh, there are many, he said, what do you mean by spiritual? There are many spiritual beliefs. Exactly. So if you have to match my spiritual belief, if there's many spiritual beliefs out there. So spiritual meaning whatever my spiritual belief is, we have to match it because if we don't match, it's not gonna work. It doesn't matter what it is, what your spiritual belief is. Gotta actually like believe in the same thing basically. We have what are your strengths and weaknesses and no gaslighting.
So that's interesting that someone would say no gaslighting because I think a lot of people don't know what that means. Shami, you want to give a take on that?
My interpretation of gaslighting is just adding fuel to the fire. Like a lot of people just love to argue, and they just do things that they know are going to irk you, and they do it on purpose to irk you, to cause a situation that's going to cause a fire.
That's your definition?
Yep,
Should I bring the dictionary definition up?
you can.
You know you can, Miss Wikipedia, Miss Wiki.
Please hold. Any more comments up there?
It says people do. Anthony Cook said people do evolve over time. Preferences can change. Right. I do
Yeah.
agree to that. I definitely do agree to that. Shout out to everybody watching on Instagram and Facebook. Ew.
Yes. Okay. Gaslighting. Manipulate someone using psychological method into questioning their own sanity or power of reasoning. So that takes us back to everybody manipulates,
I mean,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
I think everybody has to manipulate their way into life some way, somehow. I
Mm-hmm.
really do believe that. Every day we're like Sha said, we're manipulating life every single day. And there's good manipulation, there's bad manipulation, there's bad lies and there's white lies. You understand? So it's like what category are you falling what category are you falling into when it comes to manipulation? Because again, and niggas get manipulated every day, B.
That's true. All right. Next, let's move on to our next question. Do you know what makes you happy? Does it come from within, or is it a person who determines one's happiness? Sigh, not the sigh.
I
I
think
think it's
at
both.
oh, go ahead, Bo.
No, no, go ahead, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I think at the stage in my life right now, I think after everything I've been through in life, everything I have overcome, and even though I'm young, considered young still, I think now my peace is my peace. Like my peace is so important. You know what I'm saying? So I what makes me happy is my peace. My peace is you not stressing me out. My life is stable. My kids are good. My kids are fed. Me personally, you, Sha, my friends, my kids, nor my husband is gonna determine my happiness. So I feel I feel the happiness is within me. I have to do
Hmm.
what I have to do to make sure I'm happy because nobody else is gonna do that because nobody else knows what's gonna make me happy.
True. But you also said now. So does that mean that there was a period of time where you weren't sure of what made you happy and that you
Yeah,
had to go through something and deal with something, no matter what it is, but you had to deal with something to figure out what it is that you want for yourself? Because a lot of times in situations, relationship, we
hmm
people often compromise how they feel for the sake of others, right? And a lot
yeah,
of times that takes away from your own happiness, right? Because
hmm
you are compromising, you
hmm
are being available, you doing things sometimes that you just don't want to do
even
at
settling.
the at the at the sake of your own happiness. So I do agree that happiness starts within. So yeah,
And when I say, yeah, I agree with that. When I say now, because back then there was a time that I thought there was certain things that will make me happy.
hmm
I thought there was things that will make me happy, and as I manifested it, it really didn't. So now I real and one of those things where I thought people were gonna make me happy. I thought
hmm
having all of these friends and having this around and making sure I'm here and being who I am to others, expecting that in return, I had to learn that that doesn't make me happy. I thought it did, but it doesn't. So now in this present moment is my peace.
okay.
I make you laugh every day, B. I make you happy. That's terrible. You hurt my feelings. Yo, I
You
think that
add to the happiness. You
Right.
add to it.
that's terrible. Don't throw me a bone, yo. But anyway,
Shut up.
um, I think there's a component of love that involves selflessness. So compromising and doing things you may not want to do, that's a real testament to how you feel about people. Because if I don't want to compromise and I don't want to do it, I probably don't care about you. So you have to know what makes you happy. But
That's interesting.
I think people can come in your life that make you happy. Because I have people in my life that really make me happy and they make me a better person.
I agree to that. I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So um,
So is it safe to say that they add to your happiness, not so much make you happy? If
They
we
add
if
to
we're
it.
say, if we're saying that happiness starts within, right? Once happiness starts within, and anything else is an addition, right? An addition to heighten the level of joy or happiness, right? Then you're saying that people are just adding to it. They're participating in your life is a more positive, in my opinion, and then it just keeps you where you are. So the thing is that sometimes a person may feel like having certain people in their life makes them happy. So when those people are no longer in their life, they're no longer happy, right?
I see
And
what
I,
you.
I
Yeah, I
would
see
say
what you're
that.
going.
Huh? Say it again.
No, I see where you're going with that. Yeah.
So I think that sometimes when people are so dependent on other people for their happiness, that's when people go into depression.
Mhm.
Some people become suicidal because they feel like they can't breathe or live without someone else because they haven't gotten to know what it is that makes them within happy.
Yeah.
So so with that being said, it's important for people to get into themselves and know what it is that makes them happy.
Mhm.
Um, some people are simple, right? Little things make them happy. A gesture. Have a good day. How was your day? Here's a card. I thought about you today. Here's some socks because some people like socks, right? So I think that a lot of time, um, when people think about happiness and you ask them, does a person determine your happiness? I just think that they elevate the happiness. Right? When people in a relationship and in a love and things happen and it doesn't work and that person becomes sad, I don't think it depend. I don't think that's because they depend on that person for their happiness. I think that that person adds to their happiness, and now that part of the addition of their self happiness or self growth or within is now no longer there. It's like mourning.
Yeah.
I can agree.
I
Yeah.
unpack that.
You unpack it, son. You unpack that, son.
All right. That
Yes.
we got another question or that's it?
Yep, that's it. That's it. So I think um in time, as we grow, as we elevate, as time goes on, it changes. Like I said earlier, with me being married 10 years, together 17, within, you could say, every 5 years we was elevating some way, somehow. And I had to learn, especially as a mom and a wife that sat and, before today, before my kids were grown, my life was just my kids, my husband, my kids, my husband, my kids, my husband, my kids, my husband, work, kids, my husband, work, kids, my husband. Now all my kids are into their, and they have their life. They have their life now. Maddie's 10, but little Mickey's 14, 16. They're ready with the girls. They're doing their sports. Ma, I don't want you around. So now it's like, what is it? What am I to do now? So it's like, now I have my kids make me happy. Yes, my husband makes me happy, but they're about to go. So now I have to figure out me again. I have to learn me all over again. And I learned that my happiness is my peace.
And
Okay.
karaoke.
And tacos.
Yeah,
And
and
taco.
tacos.
So
Now you see, that's consideration. When you have consideration and empathy, and you like me and you fuck with me, and I like two tacos on Tuesdays. Give me my tacos on Tuesdays.
You eat
with
tacos
a
any
shot of
day that ends with a Y.
tequila. With a shot of tequila.
With a shot of Patron, you heard?
Oh, not Patron. Mika, any other comments?
So let's see. We have manipulation is connected to intentions. So could be bad or good.
Mm-hmm.
From day one, you must ask plenty of questions. And then on Instagram, we have Jake, the real Jake Stadley. I hope I said it right. Facts. I don't know. He said facts about what he said. Facts. He said facts.
Okay,
Today.
so I think that we definitely unpacked a lot today. I think that in closing, we know that you have to know what you want and what you need. You should know, okay? And if you don't know, take some time out for yourself and figure out what you as a person want. What are your needs when it comes to relationship and situations? Because a situation can be work, a situation can be what happens outside, a situation can be an event somewhere you go to an event and not really know what the next move is going to be, and ultimately understand that you drive the force of your own happiness within, right? And if you can be happy within with yourself, then anything else is just a plus and a blessing. And you can live your life the way you very much want to live it without feeling like somebody else has control over you and can affect you emotionally to the highest power. Now, not to say that people are not affected by other people and their behaviors, because as a human, you have emotion, you have feelings,
Mhm.
right? But I'm speaking to the drive of your happiness and what your next move is for you, right? And understand that once you love yourself and you feel within the joy within yourself, then things can be better for you, right? So that's how I unpack that.
I agree with
So I
that. So
want
I do feel too that you have to find what inspires you. And once you find what inspires you, you'll be motivated to figure out, to find yourself. If you, one thing I've always tell people, like when it comes to relationships, right? You have to know thyself to know thy other. So if you're gonna attract what you are right now. So if you're depressed, if you're miserable, if you don't know what it is that you want, there's nothing out there that's inspiring you to sit and move forward and move on. Those are the type of people or the type of attention you're gonna attract. But if you find something, like perfect example, let's say Shamik found somebody that inspired him to sit and change his name from his name to his name now. That was it was something inspired him.
Motivation.
Something inspired him to sit and say, you know what? I want to make this life change, because that changing your name is life changing. I want to make this life change to sit and change my life, change my name. So, like that, I could attract something different. It motivated him to attract something different. So, I do feel once you find what inspires you to move on and move forward, you attract what it is that's inspiring you.
Thank you for that,
That's a
Shami.
fact.
You have a closing?
Y'all said everything. I think no. I think that is, when people talk about what's happy, I think it's dictated too sometimes by trauma in your life. Like once I open my eyes and I look up, I'm as happy as can be. You know
Amen.
what I'm saying? So like there's a lot of like my motto is the glass is always half full. And then when I look to the left and right and I see people that aren't here anymore, I just realize how happy and lucky I am. So there's really nothing to not be happy about. But I definitely think people should just, make the best out of this life because you only got one.
Amen and
And
praise.
time's not waiting for anybody. So whatever you want, whatever you think makes you happy, you got to go get it because it ain't gonna come knocking on your door.
All right. Now that was from Shamik the God. Okay.
Word.
If you ain't getting nothing from anything, you heard the God. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in. IG, Instagram, Facebook,
YouTube.
YouTube. Please make sure you go on my YouTube page, like, share, and subscribe, and then get the bell alert so that you know when we go live again. Every Friday, we're on at 8 o'clock. Please tune in and thank you. We appreciate you. And until next time, peace, be blessed, and take care.
Talk to y'all later.